Hello everyone, thank you so much for watching. My name is Neferititi and you can find me on the web at onebodywm.com. I am a spiritual life coach and mind body instructor. So this has been a very interesting couple of days. I know a lot of you watched my last energy update, and I gotta tell you, for the past couple of days, it's just been like crazy up and down energy. There's moments when I've been really like energized and really clear, and then the next moment I was like totally lethargic. I mean, I think Sunday, like half of Saturday and Sunday this past weekend, I was just down for the count. I mean, my poor son, he was just looking at me like, are we gonna do anything? Like, what's going on? But it's like that sometimes, right? Especially if you're an empath. I mean, we have learned at this point in the game that when you're tired, you've just got to slow down and you've got to rest, because a lot of times that's when you're integrating information, reviewing information on a soul level, on a cosmic level. But I wanted to come to you today with an energy update, talking a lot about the astrology that's going on. So this is a very energetically sensitive week. We are still in the middle of eclipse season. So we have an eclipse tomorrow, July 16th, in the sign of Capricorn. And as I've mentioned in other videos, eclipses are the most powerful astrological transit that we can experience. They herald in all of the major endings and beginnings in our lives. They're like bookends, and eclipses often mirror eclipses from the past. So this particular eclipse is going over our career, our finances, our relationships, all of the things that are very practical in a sense, and how we are able to either upgrade these things, move on from these things if that's what's necessary. So I'm suggesting that we kind of keep our schedule on the lighter end this week if you can. Incorporate time for rest and relaxation so that you can integrate these energies coming in. Self-love practices, taking naps. Naps are so underrated. You know, I forgot how valuable naps were until I had a son, and I learned, like, yeah, you know, let me lay down too. This is a heightened emotional time and people are lashing out, they're acting out, especially if they're not aware of what's going on. They're just kind of agitated and don't have a reason why, so they often project. And this is something that empaths know a lot about, because we'll pick up on that energy and it's just like, whoa, what the fuck is going on, right? So just be mindful of that a lot of people are being triggered this week, especially since these energies, this eclipse in particular, is touching Pluto and Saturn, and these are malefics as far as the planetary energies go in general, right? So we have planets that are thought of as benefic, like Jupiter and Venus. You know, these are often about love and growth and expansion and luck, but Saturn and Pluto are about keeping it real, right? So if something's not working, Saturn's going to show you that. Pluto's going to show you that. And these things will start to break down. They'll start to be released. So whatever's trying to leave your life right now, it was meant to, okay? Because these energies are being triggered. And this could be careers, people, right? And we have to be okay with that, because it's going to move us into the next level of our evolution, of our growth, of our ascension. And we don't want to do anything that's going to create resistance, because these energies are already intense enough as it is. So it's best to just kind of go with the flow. We've also got Mercury retrograding back into Cancer this week on the 19th. So this is going to further add to the sensitivity. So make sure that you are taking time to process, however that works for you. For me, it's taking naps and taking nature walks, making sure that I'm hydrated and eating well. Very, very important. Many of you know that I've been vegan for 10 years, so I already eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. It's easy for me. I'm not saying that you have to be vegan, but I would recommend that you up your level of foods that are alive, because you're alive, right? This will help to give you more energy, especially as we're going through these emotional waves that can be taxing on your energy. It's just one of those things that we have to be mindful of this week. Our nutrition, if you've never been mindful of it before, I would strongly suggest it. And I am a vegan coach, so I can help you with that if you need, okay? So as I mentioned, Mercury is retrograding back into Cancer, and we already talked about Mercury retrograde in the last video, how this could create delays and maybe some miscommunications, some lost emails, you know, paying attention to the details. But because Mercury is retrograde, that doesn't mean that we stop our life. We do what we need to do. So if you've got to make major ticket purchases, if you've got to buy a car, if you've got to sign a lease, just keep all of your documents. Make sure that you are getting warranties on things that you buy that are, you know, I would say over $100 if you can, especially electronics. If you have to buy electronics, make sure that you're getting a warranty. Things can go wrong whether Mercury is retrograde or not, right? But we just have to be aware that the energy is riper for these things to happen, okay? Relationships are still under a microscope. This could be a breaking point for some relationships this week. And the breaking point could be, we're going to take it to the next level, right? We're like, for example, we're living together. We've been playing house. Are we going to get married? Or what's going to happen? Or it could be going the other direction. You know, this isn't working for me anymore. So we've got to make a decision. Now, I would strongly suggest that because it is Mercury retrograde, that if you want a relationship to end, that you wait until Mercury goes direct, because Mercury, when it goes direct, can bring that person back into your life. This is not always the case, but if you can wait to do that. Maybe have a discussion, maybe start preparing to leave, or maybe start preparing to make that marriage proposal or take that next step. But just allow yourself some time to think about these things, but honor your sensitivity, honor what it is that you're feeling needs to be done. I pulled 2 cards out of the Angels and Ancestors deck, one of my favorite decks right now. I just feel really connected to it. And the first card I pulled in relationship to the energy this week is the Hermit Card, which is about recharging, taking a step back, spending a lot more time in meditation than you usually do. You know, even an extra 5 minutes. I've really upped my meditation time just because I find that it really helps me to relax and to kind of step back from this energy because it is very intense. So thinking before you speak too is another thing that the Hermit Card speaks to, right? Especially now that we're in Mercury retrograde. You know, there's a lot of things that could be said that we don't mean, or things that are left unsaid. So think about what it is that you're going to say before you say it. And if you can wait to have those intense discussions, please do so. That would be to the benefit of everybody involved, but do what you have to do, right? The second card I pulled was the Cedar Card, and this is about looking beyond your current situation. Now, the Cedar Card can often be interpreted as future predictions, and even as somebody that practices astrology, I don't believe in making predictions for people. What you're thinking about right now is what's going to manifest. All we can do as astrologers, as people that forecast energy, as a seer, is to interpret the energy that is present, like a weather person would. And then you do with it what you will, depending on where you are vibrationally, emotionally. The energy that's available to us right now is for reflection and review. And so if fears are coming up right now, because that's Saturn, that's Pluto, they kind of bring up the scariness, the scary things of life. Don't allow them to play games with you right now, because Mercury is the trickster. So we've got all these energies, right, floating around. Things are just not settled, not grounded right now. And that is okay. We need time to slow down. A lot of us won't slow down unless we are forced to by the universe. And so this is all about those cycles that I was talking about, right? So we have times of manifestation, of learning, of growth, of healing. We have times of taking action. Then we have times for reflection, times for slowing down, to process, to integrate. Because we're getting a lot of information right now, a lot of downloads, a lot of new light codes, and it takes time to unpack this information. So allow yourself that time. And surrender is very important right now. One of the really practical ways that I offer to my clients when it comes to surrender and how to do it is the Serenity Prayer, right? Just accepting the things that you cannot change, changing the things that you can, and having the wisdom to know the difference. Allowing what is to be without trying to get in there and fix it. Because a lot of times we don't realize that we're exactly where we need to be. We're dealing with a lot of acute situations, things that are maybe uncomfortable for us, right? But we need that because that's what's creating the growth, the catalyst for growth and change. But we need time to let these energies integrate, okay? So I'm going to offer you 3 tips to work with this energy, as I always do. The first one is always self-love practices. When you love yourself, everything in your life works. Even if it's negative or it seems like a little challenging, you can see it from a higher perspective because you love yourself, you support yourself, and you tell yourself that you're doing the best you can with the understanding, awareness, the knowledge, the circumstances, and the resources that I have. You tell yourself that constantly, right? The second tip I've already mentioned earlier in the video is more meditation, more time for contemplation, relaxation. And there's lots of ways to meditate, taking nature walks, sitting silently. I'm in my workout meditation space right now, and I'll sit here and reflect. But sometimes I need to go down to the lake to let myself cry, to get emotional. That is a form of meditation to me. Just allowing my emotions to process, to flow, to be what they are, okay? And the third tip is going to be eating really, really well, right? About making sure that you're getting nutritionally dense foods because this is life force energy. And as we're going through these cellular upgrades, these DNA upgrades, we need to feed our body with live foods because this is going to help the process along. Now I'm going to move on to the crystals, crystal therapy, right? So carnelian is going to help you if you feel like you're lacking energy and motivation this week, which could happen when you're dealing with a lot of emotional release, a lot of things kind of not really known, things unsettled. Carnelian will help you to refocus, to help you to be more passionate about your life, to help you to connect to your innate creativity, okay? Black tourmaline is the second recommendation, and this is just an all-around great crystal for all empaths, and really anybody, but especially empaths to have. Is that staying grounded is important, and black tourmaline will also help you to transmute negative energy into positive energy. So if you're dealing with a situation that is causing you to be a little fearful, perhaps feel like you're not able to be stable in that situation, black tourmaline can help you to stay focused, to stay grounded. And the third crystal that I'm going to recommend is amethyst. Amethyst is great for psychic protection. We've got a lot of thought forms floating around right now as people are releasing belief systems, that's Jupiter, and learning about who they really are and having to integrate all these new energies and perhaps take responsibility for their life spiritually. This is a big deal for some people, especially if they're just starting to wake up. They're realizing that this is a journey, that this isn't going to be something that they can just do and that it's done, that this is going to be a process. So amethyst is going to help with that psychic protection. It's going to help you to keep your aura stable and balanced and clear, and it'll help you to sleep too if you're having issues, which a lot of people are. Some people are sleeping too much, some people are not sleeping enough. So I hope this video was helpful for you. I'm going to be putting out the spiritual practicality videos. It's funny because we're in Mercury retrograde and I went to upload a video yesterday and the file is completely gone. So I'm going to have to re-record some of these videos, and that's okay. It's all right. Just do what I got to do, right? So thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.